Well, it's good to actually see you guys back here in person. Finally, you guys look better in person than you do on the Zoom call. Uh, we're excited, obviously, to get back out here for our next Big East game. It's an absolute marathon, right? Every game's hard. Obviously, Butler is a way different team than they were back earlier in January when we played them. You talk about, obviously, from a health standpoint, they got one of their better players, Bo Hodges, who's playing now, 6'6" athletic wing, who's one of the best defenders in our league, downhill driver, tough. He's playing. He didn't play in game one. Coach Jordan's done a great job, keeping it together, man. They're playing their best basketball of the year right now. They've dealt with a ton of injuries this year, and I give them a lot of credit for that. So, Enzi's obviously an all-conference level player up front. Golden seems like he's been there for 10 years. He's a good player, Aaron Thompson. So they got a lot of experience. A lot of guys have been through a lot of wars here in college basketball. So we know we're going to get their best shot. Style of play-wise, they're playing a little faster than they did going into game one, because they got their depth back. But they're predominantly going to be a driving team. It's going to be Aaron Thompson trying to drive, get to the rim. It's going to be Chuck Harris, who's playing a lot better here as of recent. Their ball's going to be in his hands a lot, and they're going to ask him to play, make, and score. Whether it's Bo Hodges driving the ball, they're a driving team. And then we got to do a great job, obviously, of keeping them off the glass and then valuing the ball. Their third interesting stat from them, they're not a team necessarily that presses a whole lot. They'll press a little bit after free throws. But they are third in our conference in turning teams over. So they're going to be handsy on the ball. We got to be strong with the ball. We got to value the ball and get a shot up every single time.
The second half at Creighton was maybe the best half of basketball you guys have put together all year. And I know you're not going to always shoot it at as well as you did in that half. But how do you take the momentum from that half and sort of carry it over and continue it into the next game?
Yeah, I think you start with confidence, Adam. I think just seeing a few shots go in, we didn't look rushed on the offensive end. I thought we kind of played at our own pace, and we got the ball where we wanted. And I think that's really important to understand is where do we want the ball, right, and how are we going to create good shots for our team. And, I thought we didn't look nearly as rushed there in the second half offensively. But then I thought defensively, man, I thought we were disruptive. We had a ton of deflections. We were flying around playing hard. Those are the things that we got to bottle up and take with us the rest of the season. Obviously, starting off here on the first half against Butler, we got to be a lot better in the first half. I was proud of our guys for responding like we did, obviously, at Creighton. But, I also know, listen, you can't get off to the starts that we have been and have a lot of success in this league. The teams are too good. The coaching are too good. Players are too good. So, we got to put 40 minutes together.
In that first game with Butler, and I know you guys were coming off of like a 17-day break, so probably a little bit of rust on the defensive end, but Aaron Thompson was really successful getting to the rim. Bryce Golden, I think he was like 8 for 12 shooting, very efficient. What do you need to do a little bit differently in this game defensively to make it a little bit harder on Butler to score?
Our ball screen coverage has to be a lot better, Adam, than it was in game one. I thought and give Butler credit, they made us pay for it, right? Aaron Thompson's a great player. You know where he's going to go, right? But everybody does. But it's hard to keep him away from where he wants to go. He loves to go right, and he's going to shoot a lot of layups, right? That's his range is 5 feet and in, but he's really crafty at getting there. So, I think our guys obviously have a high level of respect for Aaron. We've played against him several times, but our ball screen coverage I think has got to be a lot better. Our execution of our ball screen defense, the different layers of it's got to be way, way, way better than it was in game one.
Sort of a new development for your team more recently has been Jack Nunge shooting the ball. And I think in your last 4 games, he's like 9 of 16 from three-point range. Can you describe what that means to your offense when he's able to do that, like another wrinkle that you can sort of play with there?
Yeah, Jack shoots it really well. He's a guy that can play both inside and outside. And Jack's ability to take away bigs away from the rim opens up more driving lanes for our guards as well. You know, the nice thing about having Jack and Zach, I know Zach hasn't shot as well from three this year to this point, and he will moving forward. I got all the confidence in the world in Zach too, is we have the ability to invert our offense a lot. Right, you know, depending upon which matchup we like inside, we may put that big guy inside and the other guy on the perimeter. And being able to have that flexibility gives us a lot of options on the offensive end. But Jack, he puts you in a bind, right? I mean, he's 6'11", 7 foot. It's hard to switch him. I mean, if you're going to switch Jack, he's going to get you on the glass. We're going to be able to roll the post. But then if you don't switch him, it's like you said, Adam, like he makes threes. So you got to kind of pick your poison. You know, how are you going to guard his ball screens? And we kind of look at that. Oh, this is the way they're guarding it. Well, this is going to be our adjustment. This is how we're going to run offense. When you got a guy like Jack's versatility, man, it just, like I said, it gives you the ability to play through him. It gives you a mismatch guy on the floor.
Travis, Butler won their last 2 home games, but the game before that at Providence, they played it right down to the wire. I mean, and they're giving up less than 60 points a game over that stretch. Are they back to playing the Butler way on defense? Is that because more personnel's available?
You know, I think getting Bo Hodges back, Andy, is big. I mean, he's one of the better defenders in our league. He's 6'6". He can switch. He's athletic. He's tough. He gives them a ton of versatility on that end. You know, they're also playing smaller. You know, so like they'll play NZ together with Golden, but then they'll all of a sudden put Seamus, the freshman, they'll put him in there at the 4. And he's a matchup problem at the 4 on the offensive end. And because he's really a wing. They'll even play him at the 1 some. I mean, he has a ton of versatility. And then all of a sudden they switch a lot. They could even switch 1 through 5 when Bryce Enzi's at the 5. So defensively they've been really good. You said it. I mean, they've won. They blew out Creighton in that second half. They went on a huge run late in the game. They obviously beat Georgetown in a close game, went down to the wire. And then they played Providence really tough. A game that probably the score is a little misleading, you know, because if you look at going into that last TV timeout, it was a 1-possession game. And they were right there. The game could have went either way. But obviously Providence ended up winning the game. So, like I said, hey, Butler is playing really well. I mean, I think they're playing like a top half the league team currently today. So we got to be at our best, obviously, tomorrow night.
Their road record doesn't look terribly impressive, but they gave Oklahoma a great game, I think, early on.
Yep. Beat them
they won.
Yep, beat them in overtime.
And they've played a tough road schedule, too. So, I mean, they seem to travel pretty well.
Yeah, you know, again, they're an older group. You know, Aaron Thompson's he's seen a lot of different places. He's been in a lot of big games. You know, Bryce Enzi, Bryce Golden, all these guys. I mean, like Bo Hodges has played a lot of college basketball, and that allows you to be able to have success on the road. So, I said, man, we have a great deal of respect for Coach Jordan and his Butler team. I know they're playing really well right now. I think they're really trending in the right direction.
He sort of inverted his rotation. The freshmen now, the 2 good ones come off the bench, and they seem to be thriving in that.
They are, and I think it's helped him get Chuck going even more. You know, like Chuck, they're a different team when he plays really well. He's as good of a scorer, guy getting his own shot. He can make really, really tough shots look easy, and he can really score the ball. So he's playing really well. You know, he's bringing both those freshmen, the guards, and the wings, off the bench, and both those guys are good players. So they're deep. You know, I mean, they can go 9 deep and be really, really, really talented.
Do you remember Bo Hodges when he played for ETSU? He was on the floor in that huge comeback win. I think he was a true freshman or something.
Yeah, no, I do. You know, he's talented. You know, and again, he's at Jeremy Groh. He used to be on staff here a few years back. He's an assistant at Furman now. And when Bo was transferring from East Tennessee State, I called Jeremy about it. He said, "Man, is he really good?" He said, "I'm just glad he's getting out of our league because he's an animal. I mean, he's 6'6", strong and athletic and downhill. So, you know, hopefully come out on the right side just like we did in that East Tennessee State game. Hopefully, don't get down as much, though, Andy."
No, that wouldn't be good.
A little bit off topic, but you know, sometimes when I watch back Xavier games, and I notice this in practice too, and can you describe what a guy like Ben Stanley means to your team? Because you think about his time here at Xavier, and obviously he got derailed by the knee injury, but it just seems like he's still able to bring something that your team values and that means a lot to your guys.
Yeah, Ben's had a rough go here since he's been here at Xavier. But life's not always fair. You got to deal. You got to play the hand that you're dealt. You think about when he first got here, Adam, he was ineligible right at that point, and then they deemed him ineligible, and then you come back a few weeks later, then they said everybody's eligible. It's like the highs and lows that Ben's been through. And then obviously he got injured, last year in the St. John's game at the beginning of January. He played, I think, 3 games last year before he got injured. And then you kind of go into this year, and he's been recovering, right? And he hasn't been 100%, Adam, but he's getting better and better and better. It's like he came up to me after practice yesterday and said, "Coach, I feel like I'm moving better. What do you think?" I said, I think you are. Defensively, he's moving a heck of a lot better, trying to get back to the player that he knows that he's capable of being, right? And so what he's gone through, I want everybody to understand, listen, it's hard. I mean, it really is. And for him to have the positive attitude every single day, coming to practice, being coachable, working hard, whether it's with our athletic trainer, Dave Fluker, our strength coach, Chase Campbell, getting in extra reps with those guys, practicing every single day. He never complains. He never complains in a society nowadays that everybody wants to be negative and woe is me. Ben doesn't. He doesn't have that attitude at all. He's exactly the opposite, and it's refreshing to see. Just his energy on the bench, how he talks to teammates during the game. I know Ben wants to be in there. Listen, he's a competitor. He works. He wants to be in there. But for him to be able to have the attitude and being the great teammate that he is, man, speaks volumes to who Ben is as a person. So, and his time's coming. I've told Ben that. Listen, just stick with it. Keep working, because his time will come, and he's got to be able to seize that opportunity when it presents itself.